Hello and welcome to another daily devotion. This week we talk about one of my favorite things, stewardship. How we are stewards of what we're given. And when we say the word stewardship or pledges, people tighten up wallets, purses, because they think money. The greatest things we're stewards of is the gospel. But beyond that, if one of the most important lessons of both New and Old Testament is love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Everything you got up here, everything you got in here, everything you've got in this body, and yes, everything you got in here too. With everything you've got, love God. I remember there was a poor family that the church had actually supported, paying their bills, paying their phone when times were tough. A large family. Really didn't have $2 or 2 nickels to rub together. And when the church leadership for the stewardship team did the pledge drive, they were going to bypass that family. And the family said, no, here's our 10%. And the stewardship people were taken aback. And I was a little surprised. I said, you guys are barely putting food on the table, huh? Yeah, that's true. But by the grace of God, we're here. And first things first. Wow. You see, statistics and Gallup polls and Church Pew research has numerically proven that the more we're worth, we tend to be less generous proportionally of what we've got. Proportionally, the greatest and most generous givers tend to be those who are poorest in the congregation. Huh? Yeah, it's true. The old adage, I got nothing to lose, actually has a lot to do with stewardship, I think. Because the more we have, the more tightly we cling. The possessions we have tend to possess us. We have a hard time letting things go. Just ask my wife. No, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't say that. Robin, I didn't mean it. No, she's not material. But it's hard for me, too, to let things go. You know, things you've been storing up for a rainy day that sit there in the basement storage for 10 years. And what would it look like if we really thought about everything we had as a gift from God? In his Hole in the Gospel, a book written by the former CEO of, I forget, it was Amazon, or no, it wasn't Amazon, it wasn't Bezos, but he's the CEO of a great company, walked away from a 7-figure salary to go and build wells for kids who were without water in poorer nations. And he said there's a hole in our gospel. The idea that Jesus doesn't really mean leave what you've got, all this material stuff, and go and follow me where I would go. And that's what he did. He walked away from all the millions, and he started giving and meeting people where they are and getting others in his former circles to be more generous in how they saw their gifts and resources in giving to others and lifting others up. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, wow, if I love everything I've got, he had suggested that you go around with one of those little sticker guns and put on everything in your house a need, like I need this to live, or a want. Larry Bryan in our church would love this activity. A need or a want or a desire. And he said, put on everything that's just a want. Things that you don't really need, they're just kind of frivolous things that are creature comforts. And then put on the things that you need. And think about what it would look like if you didn't have all those extras, all those wants, and you just had what you needed. Then, from that point, where would your walk with God go? If you had all you needed, Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. For he makes me lie down in green pastures, still waters, green grass. I have all my food. I have my security. God is with me. I have what I need. I don't have everything I want. God is good. And if we lived in that kind of, instead of attitude of scarcity, I never have enough, but God has given me enough, and what I have is mine to share, the world might look like a much different place if Christians could really lean into generous spirits of stewardship. One time I said, as the church was getting ready to do a stewardship campaign, a capital campaign, they said, there's some good news and some bad news for you. The bad news is we need $1.5 million to do this capital campaign, and we're short by about $200,000. The good news is the money's all in this room. It's always about want to, and loving God with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength, everything we've got. Hard to do, but boy, when we start to loosen up, it's a beautiful thing.